Sitting at the table every night, hoping lady luck will treat me right. Can't win them all, so I've been told. Welcome everybody to the poker show. Small boy and big blindfold or call. Maybe I'll raise and I'll play for it all. Check, raise, slow play, I don't know. This hand sucks, so fuck it, I fold.
All right, everybody. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I find from otherwise good poker players, especially in these local charity rooms at the lower stakes, is that they try to get way too fancy with their plays. They try check raising, they try slow playing, they try setting all these traps, when in essence, the best way to take the money down is just to play straightforward poker. Trust me, most of your opponents, and when I say most, I do mean 90 to 95% of the people you're going to be playing against, they're really not putting you on hands very accurately, so when you try deceptive things, it's wasted on them. You need to save those moves for only against your best opponents. Now, in the long run, what's going to take down the most money is playing straightforward poker. Betting your strong hands. If you have a draw, just simply smooth call with it or limp in pre-flop. And then if you hit your hand, then bet the heck out of it and get paid off. That's what's going to take down the money in the long run. And more poker players, good poker players, would have a better bottom line if they would just play straightforward instead of trying to be so fancy. Straightforward play will take down the money in the long run in most games. So until next time, I'm Paul Markham thanking you for watching Poker Talk. Good night, everybody.
And we're clear. Good job, honey. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. You think people got it?
Yeah,
Think they
I
understood?
think so. But can I just make one small suggestion?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. When you're talking,
Yeah.
look up at the camera.
Right into the camera?
Right into the camera.
Okay.
That's who you're talking to.
Okay, cool.
Otherwise,
but,
good.
But you think people understood it? That's what I'm most concerned about.
Yeah, no, I think so. I mean, this is for serious poker players, right?
Heck yeah, they'll get it. I mean, I didn't get anything last week, but like you said, you're not trying to entertain the masses, just that small percentage of people that want to improve.
Yeah, well, speaking of small percentage, do you think anybody actually watched last week?
Well, I was going to save it for later, but now's as good a time as any to tell you the news.
We've got news.
You ready?
Yeah.
Last week, your first episode of Poker Talk?
Yes.
Wait for it, drum roll. Brrr, the ratings are in.
Wait. Ratings? How does cable access gauge ratings?
Okay, so they're not the Nielsen ratings, but we do know which shows people watch.
And how do you do that?
While we don't have official ratings, we do have a way of basically judging which shows people are watching by the phone calls that come in.
Wait. People actually watch shows on cable access and call into the station about them?
Oh, they call, they email, especially the church-going types who are always offended by some kind of bad language or some offensive situation.
Offended? Poker Talk didn't offend anybody, did it?
No, not at all. We got tons of emails and phone calls about the show.
Oh, great. What do you consider tons?
Okay, for starters, we got 7 phone calls during the show wanting some more information and if there was a DVD on the show so they could buy it.
Okay, wait. Okay, so 7 is tons to you?
And 35 more calls since then, also asking similar questions, in addition to 100 emails wanting to know when that show was going to air again and what time.
You're telling me over 100 people watched the first episode of Poker Talk?
Not exactly. Those phone calls and emails that came in, they were about the show. Most of the folks heard about the show from a friend who saw it.
At least people are talking about it and word spreading in the poker community already.
It certainly is. I would not be surprised if there's over 100 viewers for the next episode.
Speaking of that, how long do you think it'll take to edit all this stuff together to get ready for the next episode, put it on the air?
Not long. As a matter of fact, I can give you the Friday night 8 p.m. slot.
That's cool, right?
Don't do that.
Why not?
Oh my God, Paul, we don't want people sitting at home watching TV on Friday night. That's a big night at the poker room. You should leave it on the Wednesday night. I mean, think about it. On Wednesday night, that's our slow night at the room.
Right.
So people that are going to watch people playing poker, they're going to watch the show Wednesday around 8 or 8:30, and then they'll switch over to the World Series of Poker on ESPN, and then they'll see all the mistakes that the pros are making.
She's making a ton of sense.
Yeah, I am.
Is there any way we can do that?
Depends on what your definition of a ton is.
Let me ask this. You know how they have syndicated shows? They show all the time, but obviously not during the new episodes.
Of course.
Is there any reason we can't put new episodes on Wednesday night at 8 or 8:30 and then put on the old episodes just sporadically throughout the week to get more viewers and to fill dead air for you?
I don't see why not. We got plenty of dead air time we need to fill.
Awesome. Do that.
Okay.
We got to get rolling, but I will
Let's
write
go.
up some more episodes, get them ready for you, and I'll give you a call when I'm ready to film them.
Beautiful.
Okay, we got to go. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate
Hey,
it.
and speaking of film, you're not the only one with good news this week.
Really? What happened?
I just got cast in a major motion picture that's in town. Yeah!
Really?
Oh, it's got some sweet costumes, great storyline. Should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Congratulations.
great.
I'll bet you knock them dead.
Thank you.
All right, I'll call you.
Okay, later.
What the hell was that?
What?
Oh, don't give me that. What?
Did you tell her about the Fleeter Mouse thing? Did you tell her about the bondage thing or something?
No, I didn't say anything.
Yeah, right.
Not a
you didn't say
word.
anything.
She's probably just rubbing it in my face again that she's gotten another gig. And I haven't gotten anything.
You know what? That idea you had about the time slot for the poker show?
Yeah?
Awesome. Way to
Oh,
go.
don't do that. Don't go changing the subject on me. And then, why do you always take her side, too?
What did I do to take her side?
You always take her side. And what was the whole, I bet you can just knock them dead.
It's called being polite,
Oh,
Jess.
don't give
What
me
was I
that.
supposed to say?
You could have said she's...
Is it my abrasive personality or me? Abrasive personality or me? Now
And then, maybe a bomb could fall on her fake eyelashes. Why do you do this to me?
Jess, we've already been through this. You have to. You know the reason.
Yeah, I know. She'll edit it for free and...
Exactly. Let's just go to the poker.
Fine.
Hey, Paul, I know you're busy, but I had a hint I wanted to ask you about.
Okay, it's not a bad beat story, is it?
No, it's I want to make sure I made the right play and make sure I do it again next time.
Cool.
Sorry.
Give me the setup.
All right. Basically, what I had is Ace King. I was under the gun.
Mm-hmm.
I make it 15 pre-flop. I get 3 callers and both the blinds fold.
Okay.
The flop comes Ace 9-3 with 2 hearts.
Okay. Top pair, top kicker, great flop.
Right. So I bet the pot.
Okay.
Everybody folds around to the button. He insta calls.
Okay, so what do you put him on at that point?
I thought maybe a flush draw, maybe an ace the weaker kicker.
What do you know about this guy? Is he a good player, bad player?
Yeah, he's pretty solid. He's nothing too impressive, but he was playing pretty solid all night, showing down good hands.
Is he the kind of player that would call you're under the gun raise at 15 with an ace rag?
Well, probably not.
All right, so most likely he has,
Flush draw.
or possibly a bottom set still.
Oh, I thought that maybe if he had a set, he'd be afraid of the flush draw and maybe want to get me out right there.
Well, you're the only other person in the hand, right?
Yeah.
And if he's a solid player and he's been watching you play all night, he knows the only flush draw, the best flush draw you could have would be like king, queen of hearts, or king, jack of hearts, or queen, jack of hearts.
Yeah.
But you're too good of a player to raise under the gun with those hands.
Okay, so that's one mistake.
I'm not saying it's a mistake, I'm just saying you can't rule out a small set yet.
All right. So then the turn comes a blank, and I bet the pot again.
Okay, what does he do?
He insta calls again.
All right, he doesn't give us any more info there.
All right. So then the river comes out another blank, so I push all in.
That, I think, is a mistake.
Why?
Okay, most likely, if he's a good player, he's not calling you with an ace rag. You're under the gun raise of $15.
Yeah.
So I would kind of rule out ace with a weaker kicker. So by pushing all in, is there any chance he's going to call you with a busted flush draw?
No.
What if he has that busted flush draw and you check the river? What does that give him an opportunity to do?
Maybe make a bluff at it?
Maybe make a bluff at it, and then all of a sudden you take it down. So if you check and he checks behind you, you win the exact same amount of chips as if you bet all in and he folds. What happens if he's got a set or 2 pair and you push all in?
I'm going to lose all my chips.
You're going to lose all your chips. But if you check, he's probably going to make a bet, but it might not be your whole stack.
Yeah.
So if you lose there and you check and he bets and you call, you might save a few chips.
Okay.
So when you win the hand, you have a chance of winning a lot more by checking and calling. When you lose the hand, you have a possibility of losing less money by checking and calling.
And that's the difference between the winning and losing.
It can be in a year. It's one of those weird situations where just because you think you have the best hand doesn't necessarily mean you should bet it.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Yeah, no problem.
devil on my shoulder killed the angel and took over my soul. Once the fire started, there was no way I could gain control.
Okay, so I'm thinking that the Parrot needs to be like a bigger, better like role model.
I think that's the stupidest thing I ever heard.
What are you doing here?
Paul asked me to be here.
Paul?
2 reasons, Jess. Number 1, Karen's made a lot of commercials, so she knows it's going to be easy to film. And number 2, she's produced a lot of them, so she knows exactly what's going to get people's attention on TV.
Paul, I know it's going to get attention for the room.
I bet you do.
I do. I've got a lot of ideas.
Yeah, well, hey, so do
All
I.
right, what do we got?
Okay, first off, we will scan the entire poker room.
Wait a minute, that's my idea.
I don't care whose idea it is. I just want to hear the idea, please.
Fine. But I'll be back.
Anyway.
Go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna scan the entire poker room. We'll get testimonials from some of the players, and then we'll wind up the whole thing with a voiceover that'll give the address and the directions and give the information about the charity that's featured for the month.
I really like this because we've got a beautiful room and this shows it off. And then this part, no problem. We've got tons of players who'll be happy to give a testimonial. My only question in all this, can we make it all fit in 30 seconds?
Trust me, I can make things fit.
Yes, Karen, we are still talking about commercials, right? Yeah. Well, I really like this one. Do you have any other ideas?
As a matter of fact, we do. How about a sexy approach for the sophisticated player? I give you diagram 34C.
Nice.
It has everything you need to get things up and running, so to speak.
Yeah.
Ho ho ho! I'm the poker parrot. And this Polly's not interested in crackers, he's interested in chips. Poker chips!
Okay, or something like that. Paul? Oh, Paul, what do you think?
I think Barney could kick your ass.
Well, I know it's cheesy, guys, but I mean, think about it. It works for all those other mascots. You know, you've got the dancing guy from DOC, and you've got Gordy from ABC Warehouse, and they do great business. I mean, Paul, what do you think?
It's worth a shot. It can't hurt, I guess. Karen?
Well, we could always use a bloopers reel.
What did you just say?
Just calm down, calm down.
I think it's cute. It's just too bad nobody's going to pay any attention to you unless you were dipped in batter and deep fried.
Oh my God. Diagram 34C? Paul! I said I wanted to do something sexy too, but I mean, that's just ridiculous.
You're ridiculous, bird brain.
Oh, that's it.
All right. Hey, hold on. How about this? Can we shoot a lot of commercials and then watch them and decide which ones we want to use? Will that work for you?
Fine.
Will that work for you?
Fine.
Done. Okay, what we've been talking about today is playing straightforward poker. Now this is going to be good and it's going to take down the money in the long run in most poker games. But here's an aspect of straightforward poker that every good, solid poker player needs to know. When you go to a new game, and I'm not talking about your Saturday night game where you've been playing with Dave and Phil and Bob and Tom for years and you know exactly how they play. When you go to a new game like in a poker room and you sit down and you look around and you got 9 strangers you're playing against, your job as a good poker player is very quickly you need to figure out who's playing straightforward poker, who is tricky, and who's trying to set traps all the time. It is going to be obvious that some of the players are going to play straightforward poker, and that should be something that since you've learned how to play that, you can recognize pretty quickly. What that means is they are only going to raise or re-raise or maybe even bet a big number with a big hand. And by big hand, I mean top pair or better. 2 pair, top pair, good kicker, over pair to the board, something along those lines. So if you've been paying attention for your first half hour at the table, you're not looking for tells on people. You're just looking for who plays straightforward poker and who plays tricky. Now here's where this is going to save you some money. When you find out who plays straightforward poker, now all of a sudden you're sitting in a hand and you've got king 5 because you're in the big blind. Obviously we wouldn't play king 5 from anywhere else, but you're in the big blind, nobody else raised. Flop comes out, king 7 deuce. All right, you've got top pair. Most people think that's a good hand. It might be. You're going to bet out probably, see where you are with your top pair. Now if you get raised by somebody behind you that you have already categorized as a straightforward player, what does that tell you about their hand? It means they've got at least top pair, maybe 2 pair, maybe a set, something like that. But they have at least top pair. Now if they have top pair, meaning a king, just like you do, their kicker is probably better than a 5. This is an easy situation where you can throw away top pair because you know that guy is a straightforward player. He's not going to raise you with a top pair worse kicker than your 5. So even though you've got a pair of kings, it's a crappy hand in comparison to his because you've already categorized him as a straightforward player. Easy laydown, save all those chips for later. You don't have to call to the river and say, well, I had a king, I had to call. No, you don't. You had a terrible hand because your kicker was bad. You already did your job as a poker player watching them and analyze that Bob or Fred or whoever the person was that raised you is a straightforward player, and you know they wouldn't raise you with anything less than top pair. Throw it away, save your chips. It's going to put you on the way to being a winning player.
I said sexy and hot.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hey, Karen.
Paul, what is this?
Paul said he wanted to use me in one of his commercials.
She said it would help her reel. She needs a little more exposure.
Paul, how much exposure does she need? I can see her nipples.
Just get over yourself and get into that owl costume where you belong.
It's not an owl.
Whatever.
Okay, look, we need one more take, please. One more commercial. Just
Oh
one.
yeah, one more commercial, right? A commercial for a poker room, not a trailer park.
You are so afraid that I'm going to get into one of Paul's commercials. Especially once you see the trailer for the film I'm in. It's going to start airing real soon.
That's it. I'm getting.
No, Jess, not.
Yes.
Stay here. We have one more commercial to shoot. Please, ladies, come on, out here. Jess, it was your idea to make this hot and sexy. And Karen, you need this for your reel. All right, so can we please find a way to get through this?
Yes. But I get to say the tagline.
I want a tagline too.
No, Paul, I get the tagline.
All right, look, Jess, you do the tagline. Karen, you do the info on the address and such, okay?
Okay.
Mark this. Okay, Parrot, sexy commercial, take one. And action.
Here at the Parrot Poker Club, we strive to be the nicest poker club in town. And we encourage everyone to play me. I mean, us.
Come play me at the Parrot.
Cut? Ladies, that was good if we're shooting a commercial for a porn shop. Karen, you didn't even say the address.
I couldn't remember it, so I improvised.
Oh yeah, she's a great actress, Paul. She can't even remember 2 lines. Was I hot?
Hold on a second. All right, here's what we're gonna try. Why don't you two stand a little bit closer together and then kind of turn into each other? Yeah, like that. Dude, what are you doing?
Dude, that's totally on me. It's
Just point the camera at him. And action.
I'll tell you what, man, every time she leaned over, we had a real nice look at those days.
Thought you had more morals than that, Gary.
I didn't think that, but she's gonna hold them out there. I'm looking.
Yeah, I feel guilty about it, but I do the same thing from time to time.
Why not, really?
Yeah, it's out there, man.
Look, guys, I need to talk to both of you guys.
What's up?
Listen, if I ever hear you guys talking about Jess again, I know she does it to herself with some of this stuff that she wears, but if I ever hear you talking about her like that again, Gary, you will not be playing here anymore, and you, I guarantee, will not be working anymore. You guys got it?
What are you talking about?
You guys talking about looking down Jess's shirt every time she bends over to pick something up?
No, dude, I'm talking about that old lady. Every time she bent over, Gary could see her cards. What's your problem?
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. Karen and Jess are fighting. They're driving me nuts, man. It's like they're competing over me, and Jess thinks Karen wants me, and Karen's just going. I don't know. It's just nuts.
That's a bad thing?
Maybe. I haven't figured it all out yet.
Dude, 2 chicks and you? Sounds like time to break out the jello shots and the kiddie pool.
It's not like that at all, Gary.
Should be.
Listen, man, why don't you go back over there and play your hand, and then go home and play with your other one? I got work to do.
Think about 2 chicks, I might.
So, Paul, which commercial did you pick?
We shot a bunch of them. You're just gonna have to wait and find out.
All right, well, did you pick the Play Me at the Parrot one? Remember? I was hot and sexy.
Yes, it was sexy, but you'll find out in a second. You've got the TV on in there, right?
Yeah.
It should be on any minute.
All right. All right, but if you pick the one that Karen's in and I'm not, I'm going to be super
Jess!
mad.
I am
What?
so fed up with this you and Karen crap. I expected more from you. Could you act professional, please?
Act professional? Oh my God, have you seen the way she looks at you? The way she rubs up on you? Oh, Paul, I'm working on some great new movie. It's so sexy.
All right, Jess, listen. When you and Karen go out on these movie auditions,
Yes.
I can't help it that sometimes she gets picked and you don't. I have no control over that. I'm not the director of those films. I'm just trying to do what's best for the...
What's best? What's best for what? The room? You know, you asked me to do those commercials. You asked me to become the manager of the Parrot Poker Room. You asked me to do all those things because you knew I would do a good job.
You know what? If you really wanted to do a good job, you know what you need to do?
What?
You need to shut up and watch, because there's a lot you need to learn about running a poker room.
Okay, Paul. Yeah, you're great at giving advice. Maybe you should do the same thing for once. Maybe you should shut up and watch.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am.
Jess, I am a professional poker player.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trained to shut up and watch for the last 10 years.
And you know what? That's not even what I'm talking about.
Well, then what are you talking
I'm
about?
talking about all you care about is what's best for the room. It's always about the room. You don't even pay attention to what's going on with anything or anyone else.
Oh, you mean like you?
Yes, like me. I don't even think you notice me half
Well, I
the time.
guarantee everybody else does.
What is that supposed to mean?
The way you flaunt around the room all the time?
The way I flaunt the room
The
all
low-cut
the
shirts,
time?
the high-cut skirts, all that.
Okay, you know what, Paul? The boobs, the lips, the hair, the whole thing. You know, that takes a lot of time to do. And I don't do that for Mike, who sits at the table. I don't do that for everybody else. I do that for you.
Why?
Because you're a guy?
Yeah, Jess, it's hot and sexy, but I don't need all that stuff. You don't need to do that for me.
Right.
I would be completely happy with you in a baseball hat, a sweatshirt, and blue jeans.
Really?
Really? Jess, all I want is you.
Paul, why didn't you ever say anything to me before?
Because I thought you did all that stuff, the outfits and all the get-up for you. I thought you liked doing it.
Well, I mean, I don't care either way. I mean, you know, it gives the boys something to look at.
Oh, and they're looking.
And then I, you know, look hotter than Karen.
Oh, my
So.
God, Jess. Can we please just drop the whole Karen thing?
Well, I'm just saying, it's true.
I know what you're saying, and you look, but she has no chance. Hey, the commercial's on. Come on.
Oh, is that it?
Alright, so Parrot Poker's been open for a couple months now, and we've had a lot of players come in and say they absolutely love the place.
Yeah.
And they really, really like the fact that we give them free food every night, and they get free pop and free water all the time.
Yeah.
And so many people have even commented on the fact that it's non-smoking, and they love that because they can go home at the end of the night and not smell like they've been in a bar.
Yeah, so what's your point?
Well, my point is we've got a nice poker room in town. How do we tell more people about it?
I think you just did.
Parrot Poker, come check it out.
Well, I mean, I guess it's all right. It's kind of boring.
Yeah, but we kind of figured for the first commercial we just needed to get the word out there, so I thought playing it straightforward was going to be best, and getting too fancy would just mess things up.
From the creators of Jug World and the Angry Milk Pixie comes a dark comedy for the well-endowed.
I keep my weapons in my pants.
Based on the research of St. Louis professor Dr. Timothy Holy.
Don't worry, I won't protect you.
I can smell a rat a mile away!
A mouse isn't a rat.
The ultimate struggle between good and vermin.
You'll never catch me!
That's not all I'll catch.
I will rise again!
And so will I.
The Fleeter Mouse will show you how to ride.
I'll be coming in theaters this fall.
And so will you.
Oh my God. That's Karen's big break. It's the Fleeter Mouse porn thing that I turned down.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Jess, let me tell you this. Without a doubt, you look way better than Karen in the pleather or the pajamas or sweatshirts or whatever you're in.
What about what I'm out of?
I'm all in, baby.
You are such a tool. You just totally ruined the mood.
It was a midnight flight to Boston. Runway lights and exit signs. Welcome to another town. It was a rainy night in Austin. The windshield bends, the hotel lights. Too late now to turn around. Crossroads morning train. Destination pouring rain. To find the setting sun. It's hard to be the lonely one. We're all searching for a piece of paradise that keeps us turning till there's nowhere left to hide. You can't fight it, and it's not enough to talk about it. turn